Kia ora tātou katoa. Welcome everyone to the ACE RMO 2024 Whakatane webinar. My name is Georgina. I'm the ACE RMO consultant. I'm going to start off with an opening karakia and then I'll go through an outline of today's webinar. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mā kina kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai, e hi ake ana te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, ti hei, mauri ora. Cool. So thanks to everyone for taking the time to join today's webinar. We'll move on to the panelists' introduction shortly, and then we have a video for you to watch, which is followed by a presentation presented by our panelists. And then our RMOs will give a quick summary of what their experiences as a PGY1 are like at Whakatane Hospital. Towards the end of the webinar, we will have a live Q&A session, and then finally I will close off with a closing karakia. Just a reminder, all the questions can be dropped in the chat box below. You should all be able to see a chat box function at the bottom of your screen. These questions will only be answered during the Q&A part of the webinar.
I'm Kelly. Like I said, one of the ED senior doctors. I've been a pre-vocational supervisor for many, many years. Not my first roadshow, but it's great, and thank you for being here. And I'll pass it on to Katie over here.
Am I that direction? I'm Katie Stewart. I'm one of the medical consultants, also one of the pre-vocational scope supervisors. We look to Kelly for her expertise and her years of experience with doing these roadshows. But I've been at Whakatane for 7 years now. Next person we'll go to would be maybe for going in seniority, I guess it'll be Tui.
Oh wow, okay. Tēnā koutou mārunga e ipurangi tēnei pō, ko Tui Greenfield ahau, e tākita tau tuarua. My name's Tui, I'm one of the PGY2s here at Whakatane Hospital.
Tēnā koutou, ko Toi Kaparu te maunga, te hinga te awa, no tamaki makaurau ahau, ko Wang toku whānau, ko Ujin toku ingoa, tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Ujin, I'm one of the PGY1s currently here at Whakatane Hospital.
My name is Chantal and I'm the medical staff and administrator here at Whakatane Hospital.
To the place of prophecy, Whakatane Hospital.
We're the orthopedic surgeons who say knee.
Answer me these question 3.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about Whakatane Hospital?
My favourite thing about Whakatane Hospital is the people. Everyone here is just so kind and everyone really works together to do best for the patients. It's a lovely community feel.
Great! Why should people come to Whakatane Hospital?
I think people should come here because it's just such a wonderful work environment where you're going to feel well supported and it's such a beautiful place to live. There's so much to do outside of work as well.
Great! And finally, what is the weight of Louis inclusion body?
I don't know that!
These question 3. What is your favorite thing about Whakatane Hospital?
Oh, it's got to be the great work-life balance.
Correct! why should more people come to Whakatane Hospital?
Well, if you want to live close to New Zealand's #1 beach and work closely alongside bosses who will know your name and get free parking as well, yeah, that's why I think more people should come over.
Correct! Now, finally, what is the primary defect in respiratory alkalosis?
What? I don't know that. Ah!
What is your favorite thing about Whakatane Hospital?
Board games on Friday.
Correct! Now, why should more people come to Whakatane Hospital?
Because of the excellent training program.
Correct! And finally, what serologic feature improves the genetic susceptibility of an etologic trigger for autoimmune hepatitis?
Type 1 or type 2?
What? I didn't know that! I didn't know that! Why, hello. You have done well to overpower all trials. I now present to you the legendary stethoscope. Ears caliber. Go force.
Hope everyone enjoyed that. I'll now share the presentation.
Hello for everyone. I'm Kelly Phelps, one of your SMOs in the ED, as one of the pre-vocational supervisors. I hope you enjoyed that lovely skit, the parody of the parody Monty Python. So then we're going to go on to how you can become one of our lovely warriors here in Whakatane. So this is your first webinar on your journey to ACE. So I thought I'd kind of go how we do our recruitment, which is most hospitals, but we'll go through who we are, the process, who we look for, and what we offer are quite common questions. So hopefully we can answer those questions. You'll see our faces in a minute, but these are our contact informations. I'm Kelly Phelps. Is Katie Stewart. Owen is on call right now. And your RMOs representing Tu and Eugen. And then you got Chantel, our medical staffing administrator. So you guys are amongst your ACE applications. So we do use ACE. All things need to be all checked forth, your cover letters, your references, your CVs, all of that good stuff, just as per ACE protocols. Then you've sent it to our lovely hospital where they're reviewed by a collection of people. Amongst them are your the current educational supervisors in partnership with input from our Maori Health, medical staffing like Chantel, and we have a PGY2 that helps us out as well. So we look for, you can see those listed, your cover letter, yes, it's needed. And that's a great opportunity to tell us who you are and what you've done and why you actually want to come to our hospital. It's very important to us. The rural aspirations, cultural identity, prior contact. If you were your student, have you come to see us and meet us? and you have connections to the art area, we all like to know. Those are all on rankings. We do interview. It is in Zoom these days. You don't have to come in a personal meeting. We don't interview all of our rankings, but we do what we can. And that is usually via the video conferencing. Yes. Yeah. And we rank you by all the combinations of all elements. We get a question a lot about, is a visit required? If you can, it's a great experience to meet us, and we to meet you and ask questions that have popped up as well. So you can contact our administrator there, Chantel's address there. But it is very helpful. Here we're looking for, those are all the lovely adjectives, but we are a small hospital. We value teamwork, leadership, compassionate, respectful, and people. And you would see that's quite a culture that we embellish, or we encourage here and grow every year. So previous webinars, there were quite a few questions about clinical runs, our CBAs, what orientations like teaching work balance. So the next slide's about those. Examples of your work-life balance, some good fishing, some whales, horses on the beach. Can't tell you more about that. You'll have to experience that for yourself. So typical PGY 1 and 2 are in your 4 quarters. And for your registration required by medical council, our program has those requirements. Your typical PGY 1 year is a combination of general medicine, surgery, and psychiatry. In PGY 2s, depending on your interests and what you feel like your career aspirations are at the time, pediatrics, O&G, ED, relief runs, and our community-based CBAs. The little asterisk there means the open ICU. Some people have asked what that means. That means if your patients are in the ICU on your general medicine, you will be rounding them wards and ICU. Some typical bigger hospitals may have that closed out just for anesthetic regs and above. But as a PGY 1, with the support of your SMOs, we'll be seeing patients in ICU. Our current CBAs that we have in Whakatane are Takaha clinics out in the East Cape. We have medicals just down the road, and we've got a pilot going, which is our ED St. John's ambulance hybrid. In the Bay of Plenty, there's also options for sexual health, public health, and hospice. Can't beat the view of the office of Takaha Clinic. That's in the upper left. And that's the pictures of around the rural area and clinic. A very great experience. The students and PGY 1s and regs there are always giving positive feedback about it. A couple of photos of the ED as well as St. John's. That's a pilot that's been run just this year. And so that's currently developing and working through to make it an awesome experience. So far, so good. That's our lovely team at Roha Medical, just down the road from Whakatane. We've got a very lovely holistic approach and has very good feedback from our PGY 2s that have done it this year. So our teaching is combinations of bedside teaching, didactic teachings, mostly around noon during the week. There's taught by consultants, regs, as well as teaching amongst yourselves. There you go. And that's Tui there, learning some BiPAP, I believe it was. So orientation is a week prior to you starting. That is a lot of information that you would get in most places. There is a full day of ALS, and it's a great time. You're amongst your peers for your team building and a good social week. You'll be buddied with your upperclassmen, and a great time to just kind of learn the up and up of just being a doctor. And so that's that. More life balance. And I'm not gonna get to that now. And so that's a lovely, concludes our lovely PowerPoint, and I hope that answered some questions, but please put some in the chat. And we've got our experts around the table to answer for you.
Oh, thank you. So we'll move on to the quick summary, the PGY1 reps. So you can tell us all about what it's like working at Whakatane Hospital.
Yeah. So I've had 3 months of being a PGY1 now, graduated last year, and Whakatane Hospital has been amazing. It's been a really supportive environment. We work in quite a small group. I think there's 6 PGY1s currently here, and then we've got a few more PGY2s like Tui, and then only a handful of PGY3s. And then we've got, I think, just a handful of regs, and then it goes straight up to the bosses. So we're all a very tight-knit hospital, and we all know each other. The bosses will know you by first name a lot of the time, and you get to hang out with them on a day-to-day basis. And so in terms of the opportunities that you get as a PGY1, it's been pretty incredible. As Kelly mentioned before, we get to go into ACU if we are on medicine. It's day 2 so far, and I've spent both days in ACU, as well as during our long days and weekends as well. You spend a lot of time in there if that's what you're interested in, where you get to see a lot of acute and like quite severe medical presentations, and you get to be part of that process of helping treat those patients. Given that you still are super well supported, you can call the boss that's on call that you're working with at any time. If you have any questions at all, they're often very, keen to take calls from us if we're concerned, and they're there to support us that whole way. But then on the flip side, talking about stuff completely outside of hospital life is also really cool. So a lot of us live either in town in Whakatane or over the hill in Ohopi, and we're like a 5-minute or even 2-minute drive or walk from the beach. So we have New Zealand's #1 rated beach, literally as our backyard, which is pretty incredible. And that gives us a lot of surfing opportunities, fishing, as well as, bonfires on the beach and hanging out and just, spending a lot of time together. We've got a pretty cool craft beer brewery that we do quiz nights at pretty often. As well as like other things like pretty stellar golf course at Ohopi and a squash court as well. So heaps of stuff to do outside of hospital, and hospital life's pretty cool too. Yeah, I'll hand it over to Tui.
Kia ora no koutou. Yeah, I suppose Wujin's covered quite a bit. I think I'll just talk maybe a little bit about kind of what areas we can work in as house officers, and how after hours and things looks. So I suppose we have 4 medical house officers at a time. So there's 4 medical teams, and you work directly with a boss with no registrars directly in the teams. but there are registrars that work around the ward, admitting and taking GP referrals. Then there's 2 house officers on surgery and 2 house officers, general surgery, and 2 house officers on orthopedics. 1 over in psych, and 1 on O&G and 1 on peds. And then there's a number on ED at any one time. So you work within, really closely with the bosses and the medical teams, and ortho and surg, you do have registrars. And I suppose the benefit of working in a place like Whakatane is if you feel like you're a pragmatic and practical person, and really want to get involved and learn a lot, then Whakatane is the place for you. It can be a bit daunting, some of the things you have to get involved that you're expected to get involved in, but as Wujin's said, you're really well supported, and it never feels unsafe. We're always very well supported, and any question is received and given, you're given guidance on. Our long days involve, you cover there's only 1 house officer on the wards during the long day, so you cover all the wards, including psych, peds, O&G, and more recently we've had medical registrars on call some of our long days as well. And we have specialised PAR nurses. That is a recent addition to the roster, which have been amazing, that help on after hours, and are really good to call on. In terms of Whakatane itself as a place, this is a really incredible community. It's the hospital is big enough that you get opportunities and you see a broad range of presentations, but small enough that really after a while you'll find that you know everyone, including all the nurses, the MDT staff, and there's no hiding big egos. So everyone, those egos don't last long, and so in the end everyone kind of treats each other with a lot of respect, and really knows we have an understanding that we're all on the same page, and trying to do best for our community here. And there's a lot of need here in Whakatane, and so would really encourage you, if you're keen to work hard for a community that that needs it, then this is the place for you, I reckon. It's a beautiful little town, as Ujin said, just an absolutely amazing location to live, and over summer you'll find yourself pinching yourself and wondering, how do I get to live in this amazing destination? Holiday makers come and go, and we stay here and enjoy this place. I suppose that's enough for now. Obviously any questions, happy to answer.
Sorry, just one more thing, just to add on to how great this place is. How many places can you go for a surf in the morning before you come to work, and then go straight to the surf afterwards? It's pretty special here. Just that one extra point.
Thank you so much. Definitely sounds like an amazing place, especially the brewery and the surfing. Cool. So I've got some Q&A questions. I saw on-site gym on one of the slides. What are the details of this?
So the on-site gym that we've got, you pay something like, I think I'm paying
$8 a week.
$8 a week, $16 a fortnight. That comes straight out of your paycheck, so you don't even notice it's going. It's pretty well equipped. There's a range of different equipment there. We've got Les Mills classes that you can attend if that's something that you like to do, as well as a bunch of dumbbells and free weights and cardio machines and machines, controlled machine exercises as well. So you just opt in when you join the hospital, you sign up, and then yeah, it just comes straight out of your paycheck, and you have 24-hour access to it. There's showers, and it's literally like a 2-minute walk from the main hospital. And so you can go before and after work pretty easily.
Great, thank you. Next question. How does the interview selection process work?
I'm not sure if that means how do we select people for interviews, or how do we
I think it means
select applicants
selection.
after we've interviewed them?
Sorry, I think it means how do you guys select people to interview? Yeah.
So we I want to premise everything by saying we want to interview a lot more people than we have time for. So the options are either doing a long interview for a small number of interviewees, or a short interview for a whole lot of interviewees. And I think we try to do that. We try to kind of keep it short, talk to the interviewee quickly, and then get on to the next one. Last year, I think we interviewed more than a dozen, but less than 20, just for time constraints. But we try to select people that have mentioned Whakatane in their cover letter. If they are from the area in their cover letter, they'll say, I'm from Whakatane. Or in the cover letter, they'll say things like, when I was a student, I was at Whakatane. They might say that they have a connection to Whakatane, either through their family or coming here as a child. So we usually select people who are indicating in their cover letter that they're highly interested in coming to Whakatane. Yeah.
Just want to also mention it. Even if you weren't a student here, we do take Otago into consideration, and we do have a melding of both sites, Auckland and Otago. So, just to be clear,
I'm an Otago grad. Yeah, represent.
I think
There's 2 of us in our year, and
There was meant to be 3.
there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2 currently in our year group as well. So yeah.
And it's not like there's no designated spots for different people. It's just whoever applies.
And who really wants to be here. Yeah.
I have a lot of anxiety about missing a great candidate from Otago, because they didn't highlight how much they want to come to Whakatane in their cover letter.
Thank you. Next question. How many positions are available on average?
So for the last couple of years, and for what I know going forward, it's 6. So that'll be 6 again next year. At this stage, yeah.
As mentioned earlier, there's no real like skewing from like preferring Auckland grads or Otago grads. So don't be afraid to apply. Just show how keen you are. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Thank you. And I believe the position numbers for this year will be published later on in the year. I think there's a team that's still working on that. Is there anybody else who has questions? Please drop it in the Q&A chat. Oh, we've got one here. What is a memorable point from a previous successful applicant ACE application that comes to mind?
I'll give that a go, because I feel like all of my applicants are successful and have been amazing. But I remember various interviews, and I typically will ask a question that is to put you on your back foot. 2 years ago, was, you probably remember, I don't know, do you remember this? I think was you've been invited to a costume party, a fancy dress party. Yeah, a fancy dress party. And you had to throw something together. What would you put together and what character would you be without having any theme? And I do remember a couple of what people dressed up as, but I won't share that because that's confidentiality interviews. But that was super fun if you're, you make us laugh and super keen. That's how we remember you pretty well. Would you guys agree? Yeah.
Yeah, you go away thinking like, have I made a fool of myself? But turns out no.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
What we do here.
Yeah.
I'll just also add in here quickly that the RMO unit in any particular hospital that you're part of is actually a big part of your like hospital experience, and in terms of getting leave, rostering, and just general interaction with like, I don't know, how your roster pay, like all that stuff works. And here in Whakatane, we are like so lucky to have Chantel. She is like always trying to work with us to like get us our leave and to like help us out and cares about our well-being, which like it may sound like trivial, but it makes a huge difference. Like I have, like you hear stories from around the country of like people just struggling to get leave, rosters are terrible. And there's struggles all around the country in regards to rostering, but like when it comes down to it, we know that like people here do really have our back and try and like work with us, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely agree to that as well, and it's a huge thing. Like, especially having just started work, it's quite a big adjustment to make, and you burn out, and you just need some time off sometimes. But being able to apply for annual leave or like a day in lieu, and knowing that you're actually pretty likely to get your leave, is quite comforting, and it's really nice to be able to have that time off when you need it. And yeah, Chantel's extremely accommodating to that and very, very helpful. She's a very strong advocate for us.
But don't take advantage of her kindness. Chantel's great, but there should be also some balance to that.
Great. What are the food and parking options like?
Parking's free and close.
Yeah.
The SMOs recently have had to take a bit of a cut because they're getting an MRI machine built on their car park. So sorry to Katie and Kelly, you guys just had to park a little bit further away. But no, our parking's like right there, close by, well lit, and the friendly security guards are always walking around at night time. And food options, our cafe is like pretty good. Like
I reckon it's solid. It's
it's like, I mean, obviously we get free meals. It's got good options like, I don't know, sushi, salad bar, hot food, sandwiches, like.
And we cater to vegetarian and alternative diets and stuff as well. So yeah, there's no worries with the food side of things. Like you rock up to the cafe knowing that you're going to have a full tummy going into the afternoon, which is good. Yeah. I don't know if that question was extending to like food outside of hospital. We've got pretty good coffee cart just down the road that our consultants often take us down to for visiting Mrs. B, Mrs. Brown, and there's like a very wide variety of different yummy foods in town as well.
Oh, thank you. Any last questions? Drop it in the Q&A. Nothing. Are there any final bits you guys want to add on, panelists?
Good friends about us as well.
Yeah.
I just want to thank our RMOs on camera that was recorded. I mean, they are being their truthful selves. They were told, say the truth. So take what they've said as their truth. And if you need to find other questions, feel free to ask us even after the webinar.
Cool, thanks, Kelly. Okay, so we'll start closing off. If you have any questions, either ACE related or related to the hospital, feel free to drop me an email at rmo@acenz.net.nz. Seems like there's no more questions, so I'll close off with the closing karakia. Kia hora te marino. Kia whakapapa punamu te moana. Hei huarapi mā tātou I te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou I a tātou katoa, hui e tai kie. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.